Winter was not a season for mistakes. For Native Americans, the night was the true enemy. Not warriors, not wild animals, not even the storm. A single careless choice made before sleep could quietly erase a life before sunrise. These people survived the winters that would paralyze modern cities. They did it without electricity, without heaters, and without rescue. But they followed rules that were never broken. Tonight, you will learn why sleep was dangerous, why fire could kill, and why winter survival depended more on discipline than strength. During the day, the cold could be fought. Movement created warmth. The sun offered a small mercy. But night was different. When the sky cleared, heat escaped straight upward into the darkness. The land became silent. Wind stopped, and temperature collapsed. Elders taught that these quiet nights were worse than blizzards. Cold without warning was the deadliest kind. The first law of winter night survival was simple. Never go to sleep wet. Sweat from the day hid inside clothing. At sunset, that moisture turned to ice. Hunters removed their daytime garments and changed into dry layers, even in freezing air. Painful seconds of exposure were safer than frozen skin all night. Silent pause or ambient wind. Moisture stole heat faster than wind ever could. Cold rises from below. Sleeping directly on frozen earth drained warmth from the body like a slow poison. Beds were built carefully. Layers of pine branches, hides, and fur. Air trapped inside fur became insulation. Without it, the body lost heat no matter how many fires burned. Many who ignored this rule never woke up. Large fires were forbidden indoors. A roaring flame created strong air movement, pulling warm air upward and dragging cold air inside. Even worse fire caused sweating. Sweat meant frozen skin once the fire weakened. Their fires were small, controlled, and constant. Fire was survival, not luxury. Never sleep hungry. In winter, cold did not only attack from the outside, it worked silently from within. Every breath, every movement burned energy, and without fuel, the body could not create heat. Sleeping on an empty stomach was one of the fastest ways to die. Before nightfall, people gathered near the fire for the final meal of the day. Not for comfort, for survival. They chose the richest food available. Dense meat, heavy fat. This was not excess. It was preparation. Fat burned slowly inside the body, releasing warmth hour after hour. While the fire outside faded, the fire inside continued to work. Those who ate before sleep stayed warm longer. Their breathing remained steady. Their muscles stayed alive through the night. Those who ignored this rule grew weak in silence. Cold drained them while they slept. By morning, many lacked the strength to rise. Their bodies had nothing left to burn. In winter, food was not nourishment. It was heat, and heat was life. Sleep in winter was never meant to be comfortable. Deep sleep was dangerous. Extreme cold played tricks on the human mind. It created a false sense of warmth, a calm feeling that arrived just before the body failed. Experienced elders warned against this deception. If a person felt suddenly relaxed in the cold, if they wanted to lie still and rest, it was a warning sign. That was when people died. Winter nights required awareness. Even while sleeping, people woke again and again. They moved their fingers. They tested their toes. They listened to each other's breathing. No one was allowed to disappear into deep sleep. Waking often kept blood moving. It kept the body alive. Those who slept too deeply were sometimes found still in the morning, their faces peaceful, their bodies cold. In winter, rest was controlled. Sleep was shallow. Awareness was survival. Winter nights were not faced alone. Cold punished isolation. A single body lost heat too quickly, no matter how strong the person was. But shared warmth could mean the difference between life and death. On the coldest nights, people slept close together, bake to bake, see they, not for comfort, for survival. Human bodies became living walls against the cold. Each breath warmed a space beneath the hides. Sleeping alone was avoided whenever possible. Those who did often weakened faster through the night. Community was protection. Warmth was shared. Responsibility was shared. In winter, survival was never individual. It belonged to the group. In winter, even breathing could be dangerous. Warm breath carried moisture, and moisture was the enemy. Inside a shelter, every exhale released water into the air. If that moisture settled on fur or hides, it froze. Frozen fur lost its power to protect. What once trapped warmth became a layer of ice. Experienced people learned to control their breathing. Slow, calm, directed away from bedding. They avoided breathing directly into hides. They kept their sleeping space dry. Even during rest, discipline remained. Those who ignored this rule often woke cold and weak. Sometimes they did not wake at all. In winter, survival depended on mastering even the smallest actions, including the breath. The final battle of winter was not against cold, it was against the mind. Extreme cold created dangerous illusions. A sudden feeling of warmth was a warning sign. That false comfort appeared just before collapse. Elders taught never to trust that feeling. If someone felt calm and wanted to rest, they were in danger. The mind had to stay alert to keep the body alive. Morning was not relief. It was the most dangerous moment of the night. The fire had burned low. The long hours of cold had already taken their toll. Muscles were stiff. Blood moved slowly through frozen limbs. This was the moment when the body was weakest. Standing too fast could steal the last remaining heat. One sudden movement could drain what little strength was left. That is why the first rule of morning was never to rush. People stayed low. They moved slowly. Hands rubbed arms and legs, forcing warmth back into the muscles. Breathing grew deeper, stronger, more controlled. Only after movement returned did they rise. Only after the body responded again was it safe to step outside. In winter, even the sunrise had to be survived. These survival rules were never written down. They were learned through loss, through long winters, through people who did not wake up. Every rule existed for a reason. The size of the fire, dry clothing, shared warmth, controlled sleep. Winter survival was not about strength. It was about discipline, awareness, respect for nature. These people did not fight the cold. They understood it. Today, comfort protects us from winter, but comfort also hides its danger. If modern technology disappeared for one night, how many of us would survive by these rules? Which of these ancient lessons do you think still matters today? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more forgotten knowledge about how humans once survived the harshest places on Earth.